said it's gonna be right then. But when we were the party, I was disappointed. All we could change was the clock on you. All we could change was that shooby-dooby. And the music that played, there was no good for a Rastaman, yeah. It was no good for an Ijaman. And now, I'm gonna say, yeah. Going back to my roots, yeah. The music song that I did. I'm gonna say, going back to my roots, yeah. The music song that I did. I'm gonna say, going back to my roots, yeah. The music song that I did. Come on, let me see your hands up again like this. What's that? Just, that's right. All we could take was that clock on. All we could take was that shooby-dooby. And that music that played, there was one good for a Rastaman, yeah. It was not good for an Ijaman. And now, I'm gonna say, going back to my roots, yeah. Music song that I did. Going back to my roots, yeah. The music song that I did. Going back to my roots, yeah. The music song that I did. The reggae is my baby. It is my baby. It is mine, yeah. It is my baby. It is my baby. It is my baby.
But please do that thing for me. A pleasant good evening. You getting me there? A pleasant good evening, folks. Thank you again. We want to say we apologize for the lateness of us appearing in time. As we may be aware that probably the weather, due to some technical problem, today we are like 20 to 15 minutes, let's say 15 to 20 minutes late. But howbeit, we make it our responsibility and duty to be here to provide sensitive information to our people, to provide the necessary services to our citizens across, to our people across the globe. So we want to say we are sorry again. We apologize for the lateness, but howbeit, we are here now. So in subsequent time, when other colleagues join, we are going to begin the discussion. Today's conversation surrounds the recent budget of the Liberian community in Rwanda that were passed by two-third majority of the National Executive Committee members of the Liberian community and the assembly and that of our executive. Today we'll be hosting the financial secretary, the finance minister, the financial secretary of the Liberian community in Rwanda, Mr. Sylvester Blessing Jayjay. He's going to be discussing some of those budget lines, some of those items that they all enshrine or place within the budget. We want to understand some of those figures, how they derive it, what are the necessity of those figures or those budget items. So they're going to make a lot of clarity. He's going to provide a lot of clarity and understanding um around the doubts of Liberians residing in Rwanda, across Rwanda, in the various provinces. Uh, I'm going to provide more insight on the budget today as he will be our guest. And I know he's going to come and we'll also have another uh, uh, panel called Sensinya. He's an economist, prospective economist. He attending the university, the Independent University of Kigali there in Gizosi. So today he will join us to see how best we can be able to cross-examine the financial secretary or the financial secretary general of the Liberian community in Rwanda. So just tune in, keep sharing the live, share the live, share the live, keep sharing the live, share the live. Let the information go. Keep sharing. Let's get more followers so that we can be able to discuss some prospect. The growth and development of this community rely on us as citizens, as residents, as students. So we need to do due diligence to ourselves. We need to understand uh, all of the activities. Though at times we will not want to be actively involved, physically involved, not actively, but we can be passively involved and not physically involved as well. But yes, still, we need to give our opinion, we need to give our expertise, we need to give our little ideas so that the community can be able to move forward. And I think this is one of the crucial aspects. This is one of the crucial part of the entire community issue, the money aspect. Because as you may be aware that the past leadership, what happens in the past leadership, according to this current leadership, they told us that the account of the leadership or the account for the government was zero balance, was depleted in an economic war. Depleted meaning it was something very horrible. They could not see a cent. They could not see even coins. Let me put it in a random term. The coins, 50, 20, 10, and that of the 100 coins. They did not see any. There was no financial report made to them. So they are starting their government from the scratch. So I think it is necessary that we all come around, provide our expertise, provide our ideas, whatever we have acquired, whatever education we have gotten from our various universities across Rwanda, whatever we have obtained, we can be able to share that with the current leadership so that they can be able to, you know, deliver the best that we want, and what we hope to see for the future. So today's conversation, the topic is uh, budgeting for the future, addressing the Liberian community in Rwanda. So the budgeting for the future. So you have to firstly, know what are you budgeting for. You budget for the future, and what are those things that you are budgeting for the future for. And I think it's about addressing the needs of the people, not their wants. The basic social needs are the one, or are the reasons for which you see every government try to budget. So uh, subsequently, we'll be ushering our guests in, and I continue to apologize to you for the 20 minutes lateness. We commit ourselves that next time will not come that too late. It was due to some technical problem, and the weather hasn't been really favorable for us in East Africa. So those are some of the challenges that we've been facing. But howbeit, we still maneuver and maintain ourselves to come and commit ourselves to our people, because we said screen vision is there to provide the basic and sensitive information to the people across, or to the students or the residents across Rwanda and the globe. So we remain committed to that, to see how best we can be able to provide these informations. There are a lot of information out there. There are a lot of myths, because we want to separate the truth from the myth. So we will always be here to provide you the truth, the facts, the hard facts. Yeah.
What's up?
So let me say welcome, Mr. Bala, my co-host. Mr. Bala just arrived in studio, and welcome, sir. What
Thank you so much, Solomon. How are you doing today? How are you doing? What's up from your end? I'm
I'm
cool.
doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty well. It's just that unfortunately we started 20 minutes late. But howbeit, we have already appealed to our people, though we are committed as well, that we will not repeat such. So this is it. And we are just waiting for the guests and few other people to follow so that we can get started. But today's discussion surrounds the budget that were passed of recent by two-third majority of the Liberian community in Rwanda leadership. So there are a lot of students here who might have come across the budget, but they don't understand those budget items, those budget lines, what's the implication, how they derive at, those figures, and what are the usage for those figures, where they're going to be expended, and what have you, some of the terms in there. So we will be inviting, or will be hosting today, the finance minister of the Liberian community attended in that form, but he's the financial secretary, Mr. Sylvester Blessing Jayjay. He will be here subsequently to discuss and provide more clarity in depth, so that the residents of this community can be able to understand where their resources are going. Because mind you now, they trying currently they are doing a fundraising, and we have a monthly due payment. We also had what you call the launch of like a fundraiser for 1 month. So we want to understand how much they generated, what have they done with the money, what they intend to do with it, and what had not yet happened. So we want to know where is the money and where it is not. So those are some of the things, Mr. Bala. But is there any other thing while we are waiting for CN as well to
Yeah.
join us? He's in the school.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, we'll be expecting Sensi. I think you talked about that, right? You spoke about Sensi, the growing economics. You just defended TC a week ago, so he will be joining the conversation as well, so that we all can quiz the the financial secretary together. So since if you are, I think you can go back, you can go and come back on, you can go and join back because I tried to bring it on, but it's not working. So yeah, like you said, Solo, we were here yesterday, but due to some technical issue, we couldn't continue the show due to the fluctuation in the network. So today we are here and we want to say we apologize for that. Those of you who were following yesterday who were actually expecting the conversation to go on, we want to apologize for that. But we are still here today and we're going to continue the show. So to make the show more, uh, uh, interactive, we also brought an economics from the Kigali Independent University. So for those of you who I think I'm bringing Sensi on now, for those of you who study at the Kigali Independent University, we have our colleague Sensi who just defended TZ. I think you can see on the screen. Sensi, welcome. You can unmute yourself. How you doing, bro? We are not getting you. You can unmute. Yeah, quiet. No, we are not getting you, Sensi.
Can't you increase your volume? Increase your volume, sir.
Yeah, just do that, Sensi. Just increase the volume. So if you we are also waiting the next economy from Cyprus. So if you are following from Cyprus, you can just go in the chat room and then join from there. So okay, the guest is already here. Sylvester Blessing JJ is on now. I'm about to bring it on solo. Yeah, JJ is now live.
Good
Welcome,
day.
sir.
Welcome, Chief. Welcome, honorable guests.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening to the peace-loving people of the Liberian community in Rwanda.
Can you
Yeah,
please adjust your camera
how's the
small
week?
so that we can so that
You
can
appear
you please adjust your camera small? Yeah, so we can see your face, your chest. Yeah, at least
you
that's
appear
good.
exhausted. How you starting the week so exhausted, please? So like that.
When detail call, you obey. Like the show was scheduled on yesterday, and
Yeah.
now it has been rescheduled. So I was trying to have my evening rest, but now we cannot stop informing the Liberian people because of personal comfort. So I have to wake up and see how best I can provide some information regarding our financial roadmap. I hope
Okay,
my
That's
tone
okay.
is okay. I don't know whether
Yeah, you are okay. You are
okay,
audible.
okay,
You are
I
thank you,
mean,
audible.
thank
you are actually sounding like a financial secretary, a financial expert. Yeah, people who got money when they speak, that kind of a tone. So that's good. Yeah, good. So let me
Yeah,
just recognize few our followers. Solo, let me recognize few our followers. We got Princess. Princess is following. Yela said GP is following. Lila Doppler is also following. Yeah, we want to say thanks to you guys for following. You can share the show with other people so that they can follow the conversation. Thank you. So you can go ahead.
yeah. Quickly, Mr. JJ, uh, wherever you are watching Screen Vision Live, and today's conversation surrounds the recent budget passed by the Liberian community leadership to tell majority. I think the signature can prove that they all consented to the budget being passed. And today we will be quizzing the financial secretary, which happened to be our finance minister, Mr. Sylvester Blessing JJ. So the conversation strictly is about the budget, the finance, because that's the area of expertise and that's the area of TOR. So there we will focus. What's yeah? So, Mr. Guest, how you doing? How's everything? Let's get the ball rolling. Can you just tell us a little bit about your office and stuff like that?
So,
you. Okay, so
sorry, before the guests come in, let's welcome Sensi. Sensi, thanks for joining. We want to welcome you to Screen Vision, and thanks for honoring our invitation. So, Sensi is serving as a guest panelist tonight. So, if you are following, so you can know Sensi position tonight on the conversation. to tell you how Sensi actually love the community, we actually get to Sensi very late. The time was short, but Sensi, deemed necessary to make itself available to be part of the discussion. So we must recognize that. So Sensi, you're welcome, welcome. And then let's hear you. You can just introduce yourself shortly. As you can see, we are already in the show. The financial secretary is here now. Just unmute yourself and then, yeah. Maybe you can increase your volume. We are not still getting SMC. I don't know what is going on. What is going on? We are not getting you. Maybe you can check your volume. Okay, so I think we can continue. Yes. Sorry, sir. You can continue, JJ. You're most welcome.
Again, I want to extend my greetings to the peace-loving people of the Liberian community in Rwanda, resident of the Liberian community in Rwanda, for their unwavering support in ensuring that we as leadership is on the right track of achieving our shared objectives. So again, I'm Sylvester B, Jayjay Financial Secretary of the Liberian diaspora community in Rwanda. And this show is basically about discussing our financial aspects or issues pertaining finance. And I'm here again to discuss the budget, basically to reduce the explanation to the lowest term so that residents can know what their budget contains. So again, my office is okay, and I'm glad to be part of a team that is very innovative and proactive and hold themselves accountable to what to do. And from my end, I think it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you. So, strictly, no time to waste, Steve. So, the people who want to understand some of the budget items or probably the budget line in terms of the revenue generation. Yeah. So, wouldn't you mind giving us a little information on the revenue generation, how the government intend to generate revenue, and how they intend to expand the funding to be
Sorry, we are
generated.
getting a feedback. We are getting a feedback from the dog. Who is that person? JJ,
Yeah.
please check the noise from your back. We are getting a feedback like a door is backing, at the back.
Yeah, so I'm muted. Where I stay, I have a dog in the compound to
Brother, you
protect
are
me
a
and to
honest man.
protect
You
the
need to,
library.
yeah, you get puppies around. Flow.
To protect me and to protect the librarian people money.
Yeah, but the noise interfere. It's okay.
I
Go
will
ahead.
I will mute myself when I'm not talking.
Okay.
So I was saying, Mr. SG, will you please, or would you mind to explain to us the revenue generation expansion?
Yeah, so
Mhm.
again, I want to believe that you people may have perused the budget,
Mhm.
but for the sake of the audience, that's why I'm on this live to provide direct information
Mhm.
to the Liberian people. So the leadership, in its wisdom
Yeah.
and in line with our priorities, which are embedded in our national in which are embedded in our national strategic plans. We budgeted overall total revenue um, 9.5 million Rwanda francs. And the 9.5 million running francs, there are so many lines that are contributing to achieving that overall projection. So the leadership in its wisdom did the projection in twofold. We have from the domestic side and also from the external side. So for the domestic side, what did the leadership, point to? Again, we pointed to membership due payment, which is the basis of us entering into or achieving other budget line. So enter into a membership due payment, which constitutes about 60% of the total revenue toward domestic side, the domestic revenue component.
Yeah.
And we pointed to internal donations. That includes random rally and goodwill from other people and what have you. But one of the most important things that leadership did in order to save money for the next leadership is after this communication have been registered is for us to enter in the Rwanda Stock Exchange, whereby LIBCO will be able to have a share in Bank of Kigali, where an annual dividend will be given back to LIBCO, and LIBCO will be fully active in the financial environment of the Rwanda Stock Exchange. Externally, we did direct projection for get received from politicians and our counterparts from other diaspora community. So a way to go, if this money are collected, now we plan on empowering Liberian businesses. So there where now a new strategy comes in. We plan on being one of the main sponsor to events that are being organized by Liberians, as it is in our manifesto that brought us to power, whatever it might be. So we say that whatsoever that may be collected, we can use some enter into a partnership agreement with, let's say, Team Part, excuse me, Team Akin that organize events and see whether we can raise some money and also use our leadership voice and do more publicity for the event. So these are things that we are considering. But on the overall, to conclude on the question, we projected 9.5 million for revenue, which is the the best starting for the fact that we are starting everything from scratch to better set us on the pace of carrying on some developmental activities and as well as making it ensuring the smooth operation of our administration. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I want to understand because you talk about the membership form that the item line number two. You talk about the membership due. So others will want to think that probably it might be difficult or challenging. How do the leadership see this? Is it working out for them or not? Or they just place it here for issue? People might think like that. But we know you guys as technicians who went to the drawing board in your own wisdom, we know for sure what or why you place it there. But others want to know whether it is materializing.
Okay, so this is something that I did not say in the first question. You see, budget is an estimation, and before you carry on those estimation, you must have a prior information to what you want to estimate for. Unfortunately, I think I said this on our show of last night, the other show of last night. We try our best as possible to gather prior information for the formulation of this budget. You know, every time we say there are 3,000 Liberians, there are 2,000 Liberians, there are 1,000 Liberians. So, in our wisdom, we say, okay, yes, if there are 1,000 or 3,000 or whatsoever thousand Liberians, let's take a proportion out of it. Let's take like 700 persons, residents, 700 residents. Now we can guarantee that they can commit themselves to paying the 500 per month. If you do the calculation, you will have like about 350,000 francs gain from membership fund times quarterly or times 3 months, you have like 1,050,000 francs. So when you realize that at the end of the entire operation year, you see that membership due pays like 5.7 million towards this 9 million. So you talk about the pace. How is the membership collection going? It's something that we just reintroduced. This is first of a kind. You know, since this was stipulated in the previous constitution, past administration did not act on this law. It is our administration that we are trying to see how best we can act on this law. And for sure, we are going about this with persuasion. It's not easy. The misconception from residents on because of what may have happened in the past of mismanagement of community fund. But I'm actually seeing prospect that this will perform well. But for this first quarter, it performed somehow poor. But we are getting there. Looking forward for the second quarter, especially with the development we have carried on. This is welcoming. It's kind of welcoming so far. Hearing people who I know personally that they know that did not pay during the previous month. Now they are into the payment process. They are enjoying what they have been seeing, and they think that there's now for all hands to be on deck. So I'm very sure that by this quarter it will perform quite well.
Yeah, Mr. Bala, you can ask your one or two questions.
Yeah, so again, let me say thanks to the financial secretary for joining us. We were here last night, but due to some problem, we were unable to end the show. So, thank you, JJ, for coming. But you spoke about the budget's not ready performing. Prior to you guys introducing the issue of due payment, were there any consultation with other people? Were there any publicity being made, with various chapter heads telling them the importance of the due payment and other things? Do people have any discussion like that?
So let me try to be clear on that point. On
Yeah.
the overall, like I told you last day, the budget performed for the fourth quarter about 80%.
Okay.
What brought the shock that we did not reach our 100% is due to the poor performance in membership due payment. So I did not say the budget did not perform well, but
Okay,
on the
no, but
line of
looking at
yeah.
we're looking at the issue about the membership payment. The issue about the budget performing well was from external sources. It wasn't from the community itself. So before somebody wash your back, you have to wash your stomach. And that's why I'm asking the question. I was in your meeting at one time, and there were a series of questions being raised by various heads or various chapters asking the chairman some questions. Though we'll come to that, but that's why you see I asked the next question.
Yeah, so in regards to the membership payment, I think if the community can attest, we did our best. We did our due diligence. We
Okay.
after this was reintroduced, while we were on our province tour. Each meeting, town hall meeting, or roundtable discussion we have, we always mention this. In chapters here, who are following the show can attest. So far, I think we have not reached URK yet in Monkey Gadi and I think another university, but all of those campuses we have reached through in whether in person or via internet, we mention these things, and indeed it is welcoming by those chapters and residents of the Liberian community in other provinces. So we did our due diligence. People were informed. We had consultation before having this enacted.
So thank you. So there are some conflict when it comes to the due payment. Yeah. Uh, those heads from various chapters, they are also contributing or to their various chapter paying due in that area. Now, the national due payment is also up. So for the national due payment, you guys have 500. And now those from the chapter heads are also the chapter are also paying the same 500. So now that's why I see you're asking a question. Do you think somebody or single person going to pay or due from the chapter angle and then from the national angle, they're going to pay the due? Or you guys thinking about maybe considering having a one due payment that maybe the chapter here will get a portion, and the chapter will get a portion, and then the central government have a portion. Because if you get people from chapter paying like 500 and then the national government also paying 500 to national government, sometimes people will not really contribute. Yeah, these are some discussion that were in the media they gone time. So how do you think about, you are the financial secretary, how do you think about solving that identical problem?
I think such issue was raised in one of our town hall engagement, and
Okay.
like what I can basically say, change hearts, but it must come to reality. You know, the issue of 500 Rwanda francs is a legal obligation by residents,
Sure.
commitment by resident to the national leadership. Yes, what we did, though we have not reached to the expenditure component of the budget. Here's what we did to tell you that how welcome the 500 D payment was. The payment of 500 run in front of national leadership chapters, if it perform well every quarter, chapters stand their chance of getting direct relief from the national leadership. If you see in the budget to the expenditure component, we budgeted like 300,000 francs every quarter to be given to chapters. How that money will be disbursed, chapters who may have that program or plan of action. No, it's in the expenditure component, it's not in the revenue side.
Oh, okay.
Chapter
Okay.
chapter who may have their program upcoming, they read the leadership, attach that budget. The leadership see the budget and wheresoever it can assist, we send direct relief. So the leadership can now do everything. So if we say we will stop chapters from generating revenue for themselves, then I mean the burden rests on us. So the 500 is clearly intended to to steer the national affairs of the community. Chapters may come up with their own policy, but one thing that I do believe that membership payments should not, maybe the constitutional community can speak to that, but I strongly want to believe that the membership payment will not, contravene what is being stipulated in the revised statute. That national leadership people paying 500 and chapter people paying 1,000. Maybe it can be less than 500 at chapters level. But there's no problem with that. Chapters, let me tell you this, we had to sponsor ourselves. For the fact that we are students, I 100% agree with that. But we cannot do all or external donors cannot do all to facilitate every activities that we may have. So if we can
Yes.
be our own driver of our vehicle, I'm sure we are heading somewhere with a reason.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Honorable Sensi, you can ask your one or two questions. Going across.
I don't think since he is,
Sensi, are you okay? Is that a network? Sensi is facing Syria.
I think
Sensi
he's
is talking,
muted.
but we're not getting Sensi. I don't know what's the problem. You can check your computer volume or your phone volume you are using. I think we can go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Solo, since you will come back later.
Yeah, so while we await Honorable Yan or Mr. Yan to sort out the technical problem he faced wherever he is, there is something that the public would need clarity about concerning the revenue, the domestic revenue generation area. I'm still in this first portion
Can you
where
repeat, please? I didn't get you clear.
yeah, I'm saying concerning the domestic revenue area, I'm still in the
Mm-hmm.
fiscal projection and
Mm-hmm.
talking about our own area. There are other events that you mentioned in the budget lines, the leadership and the government mentioned. So you talk about security, no, yes, security investment. I don't know.
So the security investment is what I talk about entering the Rwanda Stock Exchange.
Okay.
Yeah, those are financial securities, and that has to do with the community purchasing shares in companies that are listed on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. And, for future investment that even after our administration, the annual dividend can even be paid to the next administration. But it's a way of ensuring because Libco is here to stay. Libco is not any one personal business. It is a people business.
Okay.
So whether Mr. JJ, Mr. Patrick, Mr. Mongo, and other colleagues leave the stage, Libco is here to stay. So in short of providing fund for our future investment of our future financing activities, we will take Libco to the Rwanda Stock Exchange. I think that will give us more credence as a diaspora community. And also, if we should have generated enough amount while we open our account, one of the two accounts that we will open is the fixed deposit, whereby amount of fund that will not actively be used will be put in a time deposit account for a period of 3 months or whatsoever, so that the community can be able to generate some interest on their saving. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Bala, do you have a question? So we can flip to, you're muted.
I'm saying just continue. Let me respond to something here quick. Just go ahead. I will come in later.
So, Honorable SG, Honorable Financial Secretary, sorry for me calling you SG, Honorable FSG. So, concerning the fiscal year 2024-2025 quarter one, I want to understand, or the public would love to understand, as to how much of this total projected figure that you guys have generated so far? I don't know whether you have a revenue department separate from the face, the how you call it, the central finance department different. But we would like to understand that.
This is a small this is a community with a small structure of leadership, and we do not intend to broaden our activities in terms of leadership implementation, whatsoever it might term to be. So we stick directly to what is the position that have been all landed in the constitution and our contested for. So we may have other committees, but those committees are still on the way. In line with your question, I may not give the direct figure because I do not want to preempt the first quarter performance report. Like I said to Mr. Bala on yesterday, the first quarter performance report is already prepared, and it will be out in the soonest possible time. But in terms of budget performance, the budget performed about 80.56% of the total projected revenue for quarter one. So you guys can wait for the comprehensive report, and we can delve into it to discuss other details. But to your question, we the budget performed well. The only shock that we have was on the low payment of the membership due, but I know that we will recover from such.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Yan there. Okay, Mr. Bala.
Yeah, so thank you so much. You said the you guys performed well for the first quarter. What was your expenditure for the first quarter? Looking at the total amount you guys generated, what was the expenditure?
So in terms of percentage, because I'm an economist, sometimes FIQ, sometimes FIQ turn to create confusion. So as we await the report, but I can give you details in terms of percentage. I think it's more clearer for residents to understand. So looking
No,
at the
no,
fact that
sorry, Sylvester JJ. The thing which you are speaking in is not everybody who is following now understand that terminology when it comes to the economics or the financial aspect. So
mhm,
you are the chief of cashier. I mean, you are the one the chief custodian of our money. You take every record. So you cannot
mhm.
tell me you don't know how much you guys spent looking at what you generated. You see you guys perform about 80 and 3.1%. So I think you should be able to understand, know how much you spend because these are things people want to know. You cannot spend more than your income. Let's say, for example, you are making maybe 50,000, and then you are renting what for 50. You are eating 50,000 for a day. How can you reconcile the two? That's why I'm asking you a question. And I think it would be fair
So
enough to tell us. Maybe you spend like for example, I spent 2 million, I spent 3 million. Yeah, just something so that people can get clear understanding. But if you're talking about maybe 2%, 3%, I don't think people who are following, I mean, will understand what you actually see.
you know,
I thought of
um,
raising that.
yeah, it's a good point, but for the sake of the conversation, because we are not yet discussing budget performance report, we are discussing the budget in its totality. So what I can easily make or what I can make clear to those who are listening, our listening audience, is that the budget performed about 80%. And
Mhm.
if you see the budget, the revenue, the total expenditure that we projected for quarter one was 2.2 million, and the total revenue that we projected was 2.6 million. So now, let me be clear and give it in terms of percentage so that people can know which footing we are on. I beg you, my
Okay.
brother. So, based on what we have collected and looking at the margin in our expenditure lines, could not exhaust we could not exhaust all expenditure lines because we did not realize the 100% that were projected. So for that, in our wisdom as leadership, we underspent on some budget line. And as a matter of fact, I'm the chief fiscal implementer. So I advised my colleague and the chairman that we cannot generate this amount and overspend. At the end of the time, entering the next period, we might be entering the bankruptcy, and we'll be starting everything from scratch again. So we underspent on some budget line, and some budget line were ignored due to the fact that we did not generate sufficient revenue to cover those items. So in terms of percentage of this amount, so maybe you can do your calculation now. You times 45.01% by the total projected figure, then you will know how much we spent. So far, for first quarter, we underspent in order to avoid bankruptcy. So we spent about 45% of our totally projected. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, guys. I don't know you guys hearing me.
Yeah, I'm hearing
Yeah,
you
sorry,
now. I'm
we are
hearing you.
hearing you, Sensi, but your camera is not on. Can you turn your
Yeah,
camera on?
it's on, but it's unfortunate that you guys cannot see me.
Oh my God.
It's very
Yeah, no
unfortunate.
problem. What matter is the
But I've
information.
been following. I've been following though. I have been following the conversation.
Okay, so go ahead, Sensi. I think fair enough. Just go ahead.
So yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Tatos V Bala, and it's good to have you all here to be on the show. And greeting to everyone watching the show today. It's good to have the chief financier here today. And today I went through the budget. It's kind of interesting and also raises some serious questions, which of course I will raise here today. I had listened to him in try to narrate about the first quarter. But my first and foremost question is, how do you guys categorize the chapter the quarters? It's 3 months, right? So I want to know, when does first quarter begin and when it end, so that we can calculate the remaining quarters.
Okay. Very nice question. This is something that like I said on our show on the show last night. The community can also count on this leadership as a system administration. So if you see in the budget, we fiscal year has the four quarters. So we literally enter our administration in August. And normally in respect to the previous constitution, administration starts in July. So we as leadership in our wisdom, we decided not to ignore that fact. Not because we enter power in August, that means we will start our fiscal year for August. So we intend and we agreed to stick in line with the previous constitution. So our first quarter starts in July and our final quarter ends in June. That's how we start the preparation of the budget. So from July to September is our first quarter, from October to December, and from January to March, and from April to June, in that regard. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Listening to that. I don't know if we are already open to discussing the budget, or we are still listening to further development from the community.
we
I don't already
are
know.
Yeah, we are discussing now the budget, the domestic revenue projection. There we are.
Oh, okay, that's good. So I have a question because I went through the entire budget, and one thing I always does that when I'm going through budget, there are three things I take into consideration. I firstly look at the income sources or the income stream, and secondly I look at the expenditure, and most importantly I look at what we have to do or the variance, the budget variance. That is which we have to look at the expected or projected amount that we foresee to receive in incomes or revenue, and the amount that we expected to spend. So the variance is actually the difference between the one that comes in and the one that go out. So I went through the budget. There is something that is labor miscellaneous in the budget. Is labor miscellaneous. And if you just drop there, you will find that for miscellaneous, it constitute about, let me just have a quick snapshot of it. It was projected to be 429,725. Of course, Rwanda franc. So now, if you just look at the budget, what was planned and the actual budget was the forecasted budget. It was 9,520,000 Rwanda franc, and the actual expenditure, that is all what would look at the expenditure, because there are two different types of expenditure according to the budget. We have investment expenditure and we also have recurrent expenditure. Now, for the total expenditure, we have as per the budget. As per the budget, the total expenditure we saw there, we have 9,224,225 Rwanda franc. But if you just look there, the budget does not include miscellaneous in the expenditure. So I think there was a mistake. I don't know, because once you do the variance, you will know that there's a mistake there from the budget line there. So I don't know if the chief financier can speak about that.
Yeah, if I may get you right, you are saying the budget did not include the Macedonian in the total expenditure. Is that what you, if I'm correct?
Definitely.
Okay. So I will check the oversight. I will check the oversight and see, but I would strongly believe that it was included.
Why it's true that you believe it was included? I also went to it. So let me make a big clarity here. So you see, if you just look at the budget, that's a good budget. It shows that after expenditure, we have something left in the cover for the next leadership to work with. And as per the forecasted budget, you saw that the total budget that was planned is 9,520,000 franc. And the total actual expenditure, or the total forecasted
So
expenditure
can
is,
can, can I quickly correct you, please?
yeah, sure.
Okay, so do you have calculator now?
Yeah, I just gonna use my phone.
As a matter of fact, this is a interaction, and maybe if there's a mistakes, and we are having a conversation, it's not a debate. So if you have
Yeah,
a
definitely.
calculator where the budget line is tagged as recurrent expenditure, 7.5 billion, add, go down to investment expenditure.
7.5 million, right?
Yeah, if you have the budget 7,570,500. I just saying
Seven.
7.5 billion for the sake of the audience. So if you have calculator, redo the calculation to the expenditure component, please.
Okay. So,
Yeah, the expenditure.
Yeah, please.
The expenditure was broken down into two different categories, right? They
No,
have
it was broken
recurrent
down
and
into three. Yeah, into
um,
two, recurring and Macedonian
two,
as
and
exclusive.
and yeah, that's exactly for the
Yeah.
miscellaneous. It also fall within the expenditure, but the amount was not projected on the total amount of
It
expenditure.
is there, my
If you,
brother. It is there.
if you,
That's why I said
I'm seeing
take a
it. What
calculator.
I'm seeing it, brother. I'm seeing it for miscellaneous. We have 429,725
Mm-hmm.
on that. So
Mm-hmm.
now, if you're looking at the budget variance, that's what my point is. The budget
Mm.
variance, if you look at the variance, when you have the actual amount you say was for expenditure. So let me ask you, what was
Mm.
the actual amount for expenditure there?
Do you have copy of
Mr.
the budget now? You're looking at it?
I'm going through it. Yeah, I wanted us
Okay.
for us to do it together. Let's make it
So
more
the budget
interactive.
is made easy, excuse me, the budget is made easy in a way that as soon as you open any component, you will see total projected expenditure. You check in the upper right corner or in the upper left corner of the page, you will see 9,024,225 francs. So in this is a total projection. Now we come to the projection pay, recurring expenditure and investment expenditure, then Macedonians. So when you check on these expenditure component of the budget, you'll find that recovery expenditure is 7,570,000 570,000 rounded 500 rounded francs. If you do the reduction this figure from the total, and then you come back to investment expenditure 1,024,000, you do the reduction from the same total, then you come down to Macedonian expense, you see that the calculation was correct. So Macedonia is included in the total projected expenditure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much again. And I want us to do a quick calculation also. If you have
Yeah,
a
yeah, please.
calculator there, let's do together, please. We are going to add the sum of 7,570,500. That is recurrent expenditure
Yes.
plus the
Hmm.
investment or revenue expenditure.
Yes.
That is 1,024,000. That is one million
Yes.
24,000. Yeah.
Yes.
Plus, we are going to add the miscellaneous now.
Mm-hmm.
So if we add the miscellaneous, we are going to have is this 4,297,725. Now, yes, that's what we get the total to be 9,024. That's it.
Okay. So it's correct, right?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to just make clear.
But okay. Thank you so kindly. Next question, please.
Yeah, so thanks again, and I think we are going to go back for our second, set of questions. I think Mr. Young, you can be preparing your next two questions. Mr. Bala, you can be
So
preparing your next.
firstly, Mr. Yan, your question was well attended to, right? Mr. Yan, are you there?
Yeah, sure, yeah, sure.
Okay, okay, thank you. Continue. That's fine.
Yeah, so we are coming back with our second set of questions. And before we do that, let me firstly inform our people that they are watching Screen Vision live from Kigali. And also, they can share wherever they are, that they keep sharing. And other people who want to make their points, who want to ask questions, who want to recommend to the financial department of the leadership, they can be able to uh, call, text their questions on the live. We're going to read it out. If they have questions for the guests in studio, because of time factor, we all have busy schedule tomorrow. We all need to go back. And then, yeah, there are people following. There are people who want to ask. And then, while we await other people to send in their questions through text messages, would like to ask Mr. Sylvester Blessing Jayjay, the Financial Secretary, to please drill us through the expenditure side of the expenditure component of the budget in terms of the quarter. Yeah, just drill through, and then we'll be able to question you from your explanation.
So, I thought it wise to bring to this discussion. This is the original copy of the budget. And what's explanation I'm making from on this show is it comes from this original copy. This is
It
in
means
all
that
of
it means that the one that is in the public is not original, right?
no. What I'm saying is the one that is in the public is the original copy. I mean the original, the hard copy.
Okay, okay, okay. I
Yeah, yeah,
understand.
yeah, yeah. Thank you
So
for allowing the
how you want them the original?
No, because I don't want to
I,
say that
I
it's
was
something.
shocked. I was like, but why going on? So why we have their possession is now original?
No,
It's
no,
okay,
listen.
fine.
That's right. That's right. Flow, chief, flow, chief.
The issue is I want to read directly from what all parties have signed.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. The hard copy. So to just avoid looking in the phone as well. So if you people, Liberian residents in Rwanda, again, we said you have to know your budget. And the budget is being structured in a way that is very easy to understand. That even non-financial, you know, can even open, maybe reservation can even be made on based on political opinion. But it's clearly in black and white that even if you did not study finance, you can understand it. For the expenditure component of this budget, we projected about 88.65% of our total expenditure on towards recurring expenditure. And the recurring expenditure includes goods and services and debt services, chapters program funds, elections, and national holiday of Lake Day. So if you open the budget, this is something I don't want to bring back, but this has been the talking point of the time. Since we took over, we have now received a financial report or a comprehensive report from the past leadership. So what we know of is only one debt service or servicing activities that we have to pay attention to. That has to do with the rental of inaugural hall. So looking at the fact that the full payment of inaugural hall were not completed, and we assume the responsibility of the Liberian community at that moment, that debt was accrued, or that liability was accrued, and we had to service that debt before leaving. So this is what we are doing. We are not spending outside of this budget. Even the website development that were launched, it is included in this budget. So the debt servicing was included in this budget to capture, because for the sake of audit, I don't want to be caught up in the web for somebody to ask me why you did not capture this in your budget, and then you expend it. So this is to safeguard our leadership. So it was in factors in the expenditure component to address debt servicing. So, like I said, we projected 1.2 million for chapter program funds annually, holding all things equal. Economists on this platform and know. Holding all things equal, And all things being equal, we projected 1.2 million that this money will be disbursed to chapters to facilitate their activities. And we also projected, we projected for elections. Some may wonder why I say that we projected 200,000 francs for election. I know that may be a critical question, but with key observation on the latest development, key observation on the latest development of this leadership that has to do with the website development, which is the most valuable achievement so far that we can brag about. I want to encourage you all before I move forward. If you have not yet signed up to the membership form online, please check our website www.libcall.org. Click on the membership slot and pages and find membership and put in your details. So we projected 200 francs to 200,000 francs to facilitate other activities from the electoral board, but not for data collection because they can easily manipulate data from the system to get what they want. And we also projected 300,000 francs for Labor Day or national holiday. Looking at the fact that the two widely or most celebrated holiday that has to do with August 24th and July 26th has passed. And so we look up to the community to decide what they want to do with this money, because this money is a people's money. But holding all things constant, if we achieve favorable budget performance at all quarters, this can be executed. Now to our chart. Rental, office rental. We did an estimation of 300,000 francs in the first quarter. After searching for office space, we are pleased to inform the Liberian people or the diaspora community, residents of the diaspora community, that Lipco now has an office space. Mr. Bala can attest, though it might not be as well we want it to be now. Well, he knows fully well it's a friendly environment, a friendly working environment. So we now have a conducive office space where we can do the people business. And we projected for accessories and bills. These were lines that we underspent in our expenditure component. Because imagine we cannot generate 1.8 million plus for first quarter and then we spend more than that amount. So we had to cut down our expenditure and focus on priorities. And because of the priorities we focus on, that's why we avoided bankruptcy for this first quarter. To investment expenditure, like we said, our main objective is to promote Liberian-owned businesses in order to be the umbrella of everyone, and again to bring revenue back to our coffers. So how can we promote Liberian-owned businesses? How can we do that? So we projected 900,000 francs for both support of partnership events, event partnership, and that of business development. For the record, let it be clear that this community had no budget since its existence. It is in our administration 2024 August we decided to bring in this innovation. That's why I say call us the system administration. So normally in budgeting, if my colleague are informed, there are several types of budgeting. We have the zero base, we have the activity base, we have the proportional base, value proportional base, and we have incremental base. So this budget was developed on three bases. Firstly, the zero base. I hope I'm not opening tutorial. This budget was developed on three bases of the four common types. Starting from scratch, we never had any budget. We say, "Okay, now we need to have a budget. How can we design a favorable budget for the people?" You first need plan of actions, strategic plan of actions, like elaborate priorities and where do you want us to go moving forward. Those priorities now we catalog, we add a value proportion to it. How does the value proportion comes about? We say we want to have an office space and we're starting things from scratch. How can we better do allocation to ensuring that we manage the fund of the community? We found a variable office space. Okay, we now allocated 250,000 francs per month. Now our activities. We want to conduct all Liberian festival. We want to facilitate chapter program fund. We want to have elections. So these are things that we catalog, ensuring that the budget is a
So,
hybrid.
so JJ,
Let me
I'm
just
not.
land
Sorry. Yeah,
on this
yeah,
note,
just let
quickly.
on this one
Yeah,
because we don't
yeah,
have much time. We are not
yeah.
in class. Yeah, we are not
I
in
don't
class.
have much time because I have other
Yeah.
businesses to do. Yeah, so let me just
Oh,
land on this. It's not good to give half information
yeah,
because I
go
don't
ahead.
want the
And that.
next time then people repeat the same question. I just want to lay everything, you know. So we catalog all of those to ensuring that we have a favorable budget for the community. Who knows? Next administration, this amount can be increased based on our performances. So far to end on that note, we did our best to do what we have to do in order to produce a favorable budget for the people. Yet the figure might be somehow insignificant. In that whole community, you have now 9 million as expenditure, but I'm sure it can be increased. So you can ask me a question now based on what you have read, and also this budget followed the proper procedure where it was reviewed and then confirmed. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Bala, your question.
Yeah. Okay.
If
So thank you so much. The financial secretary said we were in class. He was teaching us economics on the show. We appreciate that. So you just said that you guys spend uh 250,000 Rwanda franc per month. Is that per month or for what? For the office every month, right? 250,000. I'm not getting you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how many months you guys pay for at the office for the office space? How
No,
many months?
I think you have to wait for the budget performance report. Like I say, I don't want to preempt. So if I'm providing these highlight, if you want to enter into details, you wait for the budget performance report, read the report, and I can better answer these questions.
So
Thank you.
look, that's why I see I'm asking for expenditure. Looking at the community now, do you think the 250,000 that you guys paying right now for office space, do you think is that going to cost probably in the future for those who come in? Looking at the source of the revenue is student base, because I don't want to rely on external revenue. And now every time people will leave that to come here for a program before giving cumulative money and then you go pay. So you have to look at the internal revenue stream that you can generate. Like I said, you cannot be working for 250 that you and then you renting 200 house. It's not possible. So if you look at, you just saw that the The internal revenue, it was around 5,000, 500,000, meaning internal revenue, internally, it didn't perform well. The external revenue was the one who actually add up on, increase your performance. And you are boasting of that, yeah, we were 83% of, the quarter. So, because, like I said in the immediate gone time, I don't want us to have a situation where you have a community, have an office space today, then once JJ or Patrick, the rest of the team leave power, the next generation that will take over, they don't have office space because they cannot maintain. So don't you think the 250,000 per month is too much for office space?
Okay, so thank you so kindly for the question, and that's a very
For
genuine
now.
question. You have another question again?
Yeah, so just go ahead with that.
Okay. Thank you so much for that's a genuine question. In competitive bidding, I will appreciate, you know, this is the best that the leadership can do. I don't want to defend in that regard because no man is an island. But I strongly want to believe if maybe other residents can find somewhere suitable for less cost, we can have us informed, we will be able to reduce our expenditure on rental. But as a matter of fact, the leadership will check everywhere in this KGL, Kigali, because we want to proceed with our office, our registration of the organization. And if an organization is a diaspora organization, it has a whole lot of credibility attached to it, prestige. And especially we are now becoming to formalize LibCorp, getting the running government, the government of Rwanda involved. So we cannot take a makeshift and we call it a diaspora community office. I mean, they won't take us serious. So if you want to be taken serious, you have to be taken serious by yourself. So if you, Mr. Bala, if there's an appeal to you, for me, I would think
No, no, no.
is
Let that make a conversation like you are renting the office space for me. You are not renting it for me. You are renting it for everyone of us. It's the entire community thing. It's not Mr. Bala thing. So let's discuss it at
exactly.
that angle.
Yeah.
Because you look, you just took, office, right? I don't know, because you
So
want
can
to
I learn
spoon
on my
somewhere.
point quickly, please?
Yeah, yeah. Just go about that. I will come back.
Yeah, thank you. So, like I said, we let it be clear that we did not just go to one place and we saw it and we say we like it, we pay for it. We took like almost a week, 5 possible days in a row, searching in all sector, in all district, Kichichiro district, Kasabo, sector of Chimirongo, far away, to ensuring that we have a spot. Spots were unavailable, and some places that we found, they charge 20,000 francs per meter, per square meter. So it depending on the size of the office, if you do the calculation, you find out that if you want to pay for, if you want to pay less cost, you might rent a magic bus. So for now, I think it is okay, but we can still do better depending if we have adequate information of decent office space for a less amount. You talk about the
Okay, thank
revenue
you.
generation. Excuse me, quick. How we can maintain that office? Like I
That's a
said
good
in
point.
our
That's a
yes,
good
yeah,
point.
yeah. Like I said in our previous discussion, that office space can even be maintained by Liberian community. Yeah, not external donors. How do we go about that? If we can maintain the payment of 500 Rwanda francs, this is an appeal to everyone Liberians listening to me here or abroad. Even if you have graduated, you can still send your money. It's an open appeal. If you do the calculation of membership fund, we generate like 350,000 per month. If we generate 350,000 per month, don't you think we can maintain rental for a month in that money?
Okay,
It's
so
very
you
simple.
see, I just told you that you cannot be working for 250,000 and then you rent 200 house, 200,000. You projected 300,000.
No,
Yeah,
that
you're
let
talking
it
about
be
in case we
clear.
generate.
It is
Wait,
a
Kakami.
projection. It's
Yes,
not an actual cost.
we agree.
It's an
Yes.
estimation.
So let's assume that we generate 300,000. So are you saying that all our revenue that we're going to be generating from this community is going to go behind office space? Only in the name of we want an office space because we want office space now. Now we need an office space. If we can get it now within the course of the 3 months, we couldn't even push it for like after 3 or 6 months. Let's see how we can work, look at the revenue we generated before we come up with the issue of getting office space. We know you guys were talking about you have all those things that you're supposed to do. And which of course you want to school, so political point that yes, when you got offering the for 3 months, you got able to build a website, rent an office space, do this. Don't you think? Let me just come with the second question. Don't you think the timing for the office space it was too early? Don't you think the timing for the office space it was too early? Looking at the revenue you got generated now, and then I got the information that you guys pay 4 months. Yeah, you got paid for 4 months, which is 1 million. If you're looking at 250,000, so am I right? 1 million for 4 months you got paid. So if you check the rest of the money that left in the cover, I mean it's very little. Like seriously. So let's discuss that, JJ. Let's talk about that. Looking at the timing, don't you think it was okay for you guys to at least after the first 6 months and then get your office space, then the moment you get in office, the first 3 months, all the money generated, you take it, put it behind office space.
So what
Yeah.
what I can tell my listener and tell you the host, for me, I'm not a politician.
No, we are not discussing politics.
No.
But we are
Am I
discussing politics.
do I have the floor, please?
Go ahead.
Yeah, please. For me, I'm not a politician. I'm a technician, a financial technician. And you talk about scoring political goal. I don't want to go that route. We came on board for service. If it were to score political goal, we would have done it by the moment we took office in August. Maybe you may not be aware, but the registration of the community is a process from RGB. So looking at the late entry in our administration that we want to deliver. So it's the soonest is better because we elapsed like 2 months out of 12 months. At that time, we were still setting system. So if we delay, what are we going to tell our
Sorry,
investors?
Junior. Like I told you, we don't really have much time. We have, yeah, you're taking too long to discuss. Just short thing to summarize. So I want to, in your own mind, your own understanding as an economist, we are not. Let you say you are now a politician, right? You are a technician. Now, looking at your first 3 months in office, you took the money you generated, the revenue that came in. Looking at your domestic revenue generation and looking at your external revenue generation, you didn't you compare the two, and then you took the revenue that you generated, you put it behind the office space. So I'm asking you now, you put politics one side in your own finance may understanding. Can you just start a business today and then right away you start doing a lot of spending outside? Don't you think it was too early? Like I'm still asking you a question for that office
It
space.
it
If
depends.
that
It
would be
depends on the nature of the business. It's not a debate. It
yes.
depends on the nature of the business. So if
Proceed.
you starting co-author business, you can reduce your expenditure. If you starting
So,
a
so
very
don't you think
big
it was too
organization,
early? Don't you think it was too early for the office? In getting the office
no,
now?
I don't believe that it was too early. In fact, it was even late.
No.
It was,
Okay, thank
it
you.
was
Let
even late.
leave that. I think so that's fair enough. You can go about. I don't want us
Yeah,
to
thank you.
prolong things.
Mr. Yan, Mr. Yan, you can ask one question for them. We can start to wrap up because time is against us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But again, I want to appeal so we can make it at least 30 questions, please. But it's very easy.
Including your parting statement.
Okay, no problem. Uh, Mr. JJ, thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir.
And if you go through the budget, I would say that there are so many work that are being invested into it. Looking at the fact that you take off from a zero balance carry forward to make this budget is not easy task. However, simply want to know from the expenditure you have you have event and random stock exchange. I want to know how does a community as LEPCO wish to invest in random stock exchange? Are we of are we an organization that is for profit or for service? That's the first question.
So we are an organization of service, not profit. But even those non-governmental or non-for-profit organizations, they still have revenue streams. So it depends how you categorize yours. So we are of service, not for profit.
All right, thank you so much. Again, I want to take you back to what we were discussing earlier based on the expenditure because something tells me that I was right and I have confirmed it. If you go to the projection of the
Excuse
expenditure,
me, something told you what?
that I'm right. But I want to lay it. Here is it. If you go to the projection of the expenditure for the paragraph, not the table, please, you see that for recurring expenditure, which is in the budget, it says that it's 8 million. Recurrent expenditure is saying 8 million from the paragraph, but if you go down to the table, you will see in the table that recurrent expenditure is 7.5 million. Don't you think that there is a contradiction there?
No, there is no contradiction. There is no
I want to
contradiction.
know. I want to know how possible can that be because if you look at the breakdown and you do the summation of every one of them from the recurrent expenditure, like you
Mm,
just said, you have
mm,
goods and services. You have
mm-hmm,
6.2 million. You have
mm,
debt servicing. You have 55,500
mm,
Rwanda franc. You have a chapters program fund that is 1.2 million. You have
mm,
election that is 200,000. You have national holiday. You
mm,
have 300,000. So if you just do
mm,
the summation of all of that, you see that even from the paragraph, they are saying 8 million, but you look from the
mm,
table, they are saying 7, and you are now
mm.
saying there is no contradiction. It raises
Yeah, sure.
concern. It raises concern because this is number. If we are playing with number, when there is mistake anywhere, it reflects everywhere part of the budget.
Mm.
I don't know if you are going through the budget. If you are going, you can go with me on
I'm
page
listening to
7.
you.
On page
Mm-hmm.
7 of the budget, page 7,
Yes, I
right
have it
after
there.
page 6, yeah, you see that after the projection of 9 million in expenditure, it just dropped down to the total expenditure account for 88.65% of total
Mm-hmm.
expenditure and revenue investment. Okay, for you have recurrent expenditure, which is 8 million.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you are there. You are seeing it, right?
I'm seeing it loud or
And
good.
and you go next to page 8. From the
Mm,
table, you see recurrent expenditure is 7.5.
mm.
And you are not, yeah, that's what I want to know.
Okay. Thank you so kindly for your reservation. If you go back to the paragraph where it's mentioned recurring expenditure, items that are specified under recurring expenditure are mentioned in those paragraphs. So if you see goods and services, what constitute goods and services? Rental, accessory and other bills, legal registration, website development, and annual tax and other operational expense. They are reflected in the chart. So for the sake of clarity, if I may be correct, for the sake of clarity, um, chapter program fund is included in what is called recurring expenditure. So what I can simply ask of you is kindly redo the calculations. You understand and do the because I assume that you're economist and you have some good eyes. And do it again, you will realize that there is no mistakes. I don't need to
Okay,
go
thank
through
you.
it while we are on.
Thank you,
If there's
JJ.
any
Thank you,
other
JJ.
reservation, highlight me.
Thank you, JJ. But
Thank you.
I wish after this call you will have time aside to go
Yeah,
through the budget.
so kindly take your time and go through it.
And lastly, I have
Mm-hmm,
a concern. From the beginning
mm-hmm,
of the budget, it's
mm.
a financial stance assumption.
Yes.
I was like, how can we put an assumption in our forecasting budget? Are we doing an assumption or are we forecasting? I want to know, are we doing an assumption or are we forecasting?
So, jokingly, I can tell my colleagues, English, I'm a mountain. But financial stance assumption is the same as forecast, if I may be right.
I will accept that. I will accept that. But again,
It's the same as forecast.
I, I will just end up
So
like forecast.
it was a prediction of the risks ahead. So when you
Okay.
assume that you will have a problem ahead, I don't know, those are no English, whether it might still be a term as forecast, but English I'm a mountain. But in that regard, I don't want to denigrate myself, but in that regard it is an assumption. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. JJ. Lastly, this is just a suggestion. I would suggest that after this meeting, maybe you can take time off to go through the budget once again because my concern is primarily on this expenditure.
Okay.
You go to page 7, no page 6, sorry. Yes, page 6.
Revenue.
Okay, that page 7 rather. Page 7.
Mm-hmm.
You add all the amount allocated to those recurrent expenditure, you add them.
Mm-hmm.
If you do the mathematics, they will give you 8 million for which was projected up here.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that in miscellaneous, I didn't be honest here. There's one thing personally I don't love to label anything miscellaneous. I rather say emergency fund or it could be a good because for budget transparency instead of saying miscellaneous, it raises concerns. People will be like,
Which,
what
which,
other
which
things here?
concern? Yeah, financial. Which
Yeah,
concern does that raise?
that's what I'm saying. You say miscellaneous, people instead of a miscellaneous could say emergency fund. But however, I want you to do the addition of all that recurrent expenditure and you add the miscellaneous that is labeled within the budget, you will find that they'll give you different figures. I believe that as an economist and emerging economists, we do focuses on number rather than theories because
Okay, so
number don't lie.
let me just address your concern quickly instead of me not going. So
Yeah, yeah, please. I think
yeah, yeah,
please
yeah.
do
I
that. We
beg
don't have
you.
much time.
Let, let,
Yeah,
let me
please
just
go
do
ahead.
do that quick so that it can clear your doubt. Hmm?
There
Methodology
is
is part of recurring expenditure. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
okay. So if you add methodology to the total recurring expenditure on 7.5 million, you will realize you will get the same 8,225,000 francs. So there
I
was no
think I
mistake.
think that there where we both are saying different things, but I don't know the same thing but
Okay,
different
so
ways.
maybe we can save our time and come back on
Yeah, that's what I'm
and discuss
saying.
and have a debate. But
Because of
if
time, we
you
can go
agree
to
with me that
So,
message is part of recurring expenditure, now the recurring expenditure that was you see in this briefing, message were not included in this briefing. The briefing on expenditure projection because there is no clarity on whether that money would exactly be exhausted. So if you do the addition, add the recurring expenditure
Thank you,
to
thank
that
you,
of
thank you, thank you,
the
JJ. Thank
message,
you, thank you,
you will
thank
have
you.
the 8 million.
thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
thank you,
So
Chief.
there was
Thank
no
you, Chief. Thank you.
miscalculation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Yan. Thank you for the questions. And I think you have exhausted all of your questions, and we are about to draw down the curtains. So, for those of you who want to make a call, you can call on +25079080210. Call to just make your point or to recommend to the SG, the financial secretary, for whatever reasons. If not, I think we can draw down the curtains on this segment of the show. The field addressing the needs of the Liberian community in Rwanda. Today, has been Sylvester Blessing, the financial secretary of the community in Rwanda. With that being said, I think Mr. Bala, if you have your parting question or parting comment, you can make it, and then we can call it a day, and we can also get a parting comment from the guests.
Thank you so much, Solo. You know, it is clear that I want for the Liberian people to understand tonight that uh, you are paying 250,000 for office space in Rwanda. So you and then the leadership are paid for 4 months already, which is 1 million. So if you take that into consideration, we appreciate the financial secretary for coming on. And this is what we do at Spring Vision. We usually quiz you despite, I mean, when we come on the platform, we want to provide information for the public to be in the know of what is, happening. And that's why the platform is here to provide this kind of information, for those who I'm seeing a comment section, someone is asking, are you guys going to make the draft budget available for us to see? Just go in the chat room. We are not making use, of the chat room. Check in the chat room.
And
You
in
will
fact,
see
the
all
budget
the
is not draft. The budget is final. It's not draft. It's
fine. So the
final.
final budget is in the chat room. Every document is in the chat room. So just go in the chat room. I mean, you will see those documents in the chat room. You can even take it and peruse it, go, and then you can come up with your own funding. But please be aware that you are paying 250 per month. You listen to JJ said it was necessary to just get an office for in the course of 3 months. It was necessary. All the money that was generated, it was spent behind the office. For this quarter, majority, I mean, 90% was spent behind the office for the quarter. So you guys have to tighten your
I
belt
don't think that
and
is my
also
word, Mr. Co-host.
to
I'm on the platform. Please, please, please,
no,
please, please
listen,
don't
listen, but
misinterpret. Why is true
you
that is an objective discussion, but you
no,
have to
I'm
quote
listen.
what I said
I'm
directly.
saying I'm
Thank you.
saying, but you just said you guys are paying 250 per month. You said it right. And then looking at you are paying 250 per month, you pay for 4 months, which is 1 million. Do your calculation. How much you have in the cover now? I mean, between you and God, I'm not there now. Do your calculation. You will know. So let's just leave that. I think the public can go about coming up with their own conclusion, but we just want to make this clear so that you guys can be aware, what is going on. And you have to try to pay your due. If you have not, pay your due yet, just 6K, for the whole year. You can even pay for 2 months, which will be like uh, 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 2K, right? Yeah, 2K. So I want to encourage you to do that. Thank you so much, Sylvester JJ, for coming. I do appreciate. Thank you. So,
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sylvester Blessing JJ. Can you make your parting comment, sir?
Okay, thank you so much. And firstly, I just want to I take serious exception on the assertion made by Mr. Bala. There was no point in time I said on the show that 90% of revenue went behind office space. So those of you that are
no,
in
no,
the
I
real
didn't say
life,
that. I didn't say you. No, I didn't say
can I
that.
make my
I didn't
parting
say
comment,
that. I
please?
was looking at your discussion. I was looking at your discussion. What you said, right? You paid two
And then let
fifty.
the
You're
public
looking at the
judge.
250. Yeah. Okay. So let's
My
go.
time has
Let's go
been
ahead.
taken, Mr. Host.
Yeah, you have the time. You will still
Okay,
be.
thank you so much. So, like as I was saying, there was no point in time that I made mention of 90% of revenue because we have to be very clear on this figure and on this discussion. Because information when it goes out, that's how people interpret it. That's why I've been saying wait for a budget performance report and see what it entails, and then you can detail question me. So again, thank you to our listeners. It was good having this kind of interaction, and we appreciate everyone for taking up the time to follow the show. We're looking forward to more discussions as we go about the remaining quarters. And don't hesitate to make inquiry via my contact 0790837830 for any other reservation that you may have concerning the financial aspect. If there are information that need to be given, I won't hesitate to give and so on. Again, thank you to Screen Vision for having their brother on to discuss Lipco business. And I hope this is not my last appearance. And I'm looking forward to surface and discuss more developmental issues as in regard to our community. Thank you so kindly.
Thank you, Mr. Guest, Mr. Sylvester Blessing JJ. That is the voice of your financial secretary general, Sylvester Blessing JJ, who is just from briefly discussing and making some clarity concerning the confirmed and passed budget that was just dropped in the chat room days or weeks ago. I think you have gotten a bit of understanding from what you read from the paper, from the document there. I know some of your doubts have been clear. You can reach out to him. I think he read his number here. You can also send in an email. You can reach at the office space there, and you can be able to do more inquiry on your financial matter. And let's be patient as we await the first quarter performance report, as he said in a parting comment. I think that will inform our decision, our questions, so that we can be able to come up with more information or more qualms, if any, at the time when the performance report is up. So, on this note, we will say, for every good thing, there must come to an end, and this is how we draw down the curtains. We say, have a,
Sensi is there. Sensi is there.
sorry, Chief, your area is just blank, so I can't see anything. Mr. Yen,
Yeah, Chief, yeah. By the way, firstly, let me apologize that you guys cannot see me. It is some technical problem that I'm facing here currently. This conversation was very, very insightful. Thank you for having me on the show today. And it was a pleasure to have or to be a part of this insightful conversation as we discuss issues that concerns the Liberian student, the Liberian community in Rwanda, and it's good that we have the able financial secretary general here who provided some of the knowledge uh, that we needed, and the audience, the viewers there. I think this conversation was very, very insightful, and I hope that our conversation has sparked some interesting thought and ideas for the Liberian community, those that are viewing and those behind the scene, those wishing to view in the near future. We hope that we still engage into some meaningful conversation like this because these are the only way we disseminate information of national concerns. Thank you so much to the host for having me.
thank you, Mr. Yen. Subsequently, we still invite this the finance man here again to explain to us on the budget performance. That's why you see We just slow down the pace because we want to get all of the document and dissect it better and be able to see where we can see any losses, if any, because I know every technician they have their, they for, paid for. But how be it, everybody needs to work around to see how best things can be done. So, Mr. Sylvester, blessing JJ, you can have a pleasant good night and a nice sleep. And we call this a day, sir.
And please, can I just say something quick for those of you who have not yet signed up to the membership form on this platform? I want to appeal to you to do so because data is important. That's the only way it can better put us in a position to do future plans. And the monthly due payment is ongoing. You can still pay the monthly due for the whole year, 6,000, or you pay for this month 500 to the contact 0790837830. Thank you so kindly, and I wish you guys a pleasant night.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much, sir.
Nice
So
having you.
a quick information, will be hosting the international students representative from INES, the University of Applied Sciences located in Mosanzi. This coming Sunday, we're going to have a good conversation with them. They're going to, tell us the relationship between the students and that of the administration, and then they also have an upcoming program for those who will be graduating comes December. So we hope to have them on this coming Sunday. So we encourage you guys to follow, and I get one of my colleagues following, Samuel N. Yakins, and following from Bonus Farm. Samuel, thank you so much for following. There's a screen vision. We hope to have you on, in future. So look, that's just the information I wanted to give. Maybe you can close it from this point. We are not getting you.
Let me say a very big thanks to all of our viewers, all of our listeners out there. Let me say thank you. This is your platform. This is your 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 podcast screen vision. We are here to provide every time, every minute, every second, every hours of the day. We are here to provide you all of the necessary informations that you need, those basic social conversations, social needs conversations surrounding your health and so forth. We say thank you, and you can have a pleasant good night. And I say bye bye.
All we could change was the clock again. All we could change was the shooting of it. And the music that played, there was no good for a Rastaman, yeah. It was no good for any Jaman. And now, I mean, I can say, going back to my roots, yeah. The music song rising. I can say, going back to my roots, yeah. The music